Hey, what's up, guys? This is Chris from Counterweight, and today I'm going to show you how to make a promo video for YouTube. This is something where you can put one of your songs up on YouTube and have a little animated promo video playing along with it. I'll show you pretty much what we're going to create. Real simple. There's just like a moving background, there's some moving text, and of course the album art. If you're familiar with like Slam Worldwide or some record labels do this, these are the kind of videos they do all the time, and it's just a little nicer to see than just a static image of album art. So anyway, I already started a comp, and we'll go to it. And what you're going to do to start a new comp is you're going to go to Composition, New Composition, and here are the settings that I used. We'll go through them. My video dimensions are 854 by 480. That's YouTube's standard size. You can make it as big as you want, but if you're worried about video degradation, stick with 854 by 480. Square pixels, 30 frames per second. That's standard for animation. And the duration is 30 seconds long, but we're actually going to change that. I'll show you how to do that. You guys would click OK, but I'm going to click Cancel because I already have the comp started. I stylized up my background. Obviously, you're not going to be using a counterweight background, so don't worry about what I did to stylize it. Make your own. The whole point of this is for you to do it yourself. I'm just showing you kind of what I did. So one thing I do want to point out, though, is I'm going to zoom out here, and you'll notice that the image itself, the JPEG that I used, actually goes outside of the video borders. There's a reason for that, because we're going to use an effect called wiggle. And the problem is we don't want to show part of the transparency. We want to stay away from showing that. We want to show just the image itself wiggling the whole time. So let me zoom back in here. If you're wondering how I'm zooming in and out of the video here, I'm actually just using the scroll wheel on my mouse. You can use it on Mac or PC. And just so you know, I am on a PC, and I'm using Adobe After Effects to do all of this. So let's style this up. The first thing I'm going to do is add some cool kind of old film stock looking footage, and I want to go to my project panel. And in my assets folder, I have video playback MP4. So I'm going to bring that in and make it the top layer. If you're a novice at this, just so you know, each layer in Adobe After Effects affects the layer underneath it. They go in ascending order. So if this video were underneath the image, you wouldn't see it at all. But we don't want it that way. We want it on top. So every video that's on top of another video affects the video underneath it. Got that? Cool. Okay, so we have this cool looking film stock. Now here's the problem. We don't see the image underneath it. And what we're trying to do, if I go back here and watch the background, you're going to see, there's that film stock, but then we see the image behind it. So what you're going to want to mess with are the transfer modes. So film stock looks cool, but we want to see it on top. And we're going to go here to transfer mode, and we're going to pick overlay. There we go. That looks cool. So now you can see that we've got that film stock on top of our image in the background there. And looks pretty cool, but it doesn't look completely realistic. Again, if I go back to reference the other one, you can see that that looks more like an actual film reel playing because it's bouncing around like old frames would in old film stock. So let's create that. What we want to do is actually add movement to the background image. So this JPEG that's in the background, we're going to add that movement. And that's why I was talking about you want to make sure it goes outside of the video borders, outside of the video dimensions. So I'm going to grab this effect called Wigglerama, and I'm going to bring this in and drag and drop it right onto that layer. Now, it makes it go kind of crazy. And we're not looking for that kind of movement. We actually want much more simple movement. So I'm going to just give you the laundry list, and I'm going to tell you all the settings that we have over here on the left. Wiggle speed, we're going to leave that at 1. Wiggle nervousness, I'm going to set that to 6. Wiggle position, we're going to bring that down to 10. Wiggle rotation, that's what's causing it to rotate like that. And we don't want that. So I'm actually going to eliminate the rotation altogether. Set that to 0. And then wiggle scale is actually going to change the size of the image. Some people might think that looks kind of cool, but that's not what I'm going for here. So I'm actually going to change wiggle scale to 0. And we'll leave the wiggle width at 10 because that's actually what's giving us the good jumpiness. And then you don't have to worry about transform at all. That's just a control that comes along with the Wigglerama, so don't touch anything there. In fact, let's just collapse that. So now, if we go back here and we watch it, there we go. We got some really kind of smooth wiggle going on. It's not too crazy, and it actually looks like old film stock. So there we go. We have the background done, right? Well, here's the problem. That actual film stock layer ends because the video is only about 5 seconds long. So what you're going to have to do is the tedious task of looping it, which is not, it's easy to do, but it's not fun. Basically what you're going to do is click the layer and you're going to press Control D or Command D on a Mac, duplicate the layer, grab the layer underneath, click on it, hold Shift, pull it over, and it should snap to the end of the video on top, the layer on top, and then it'll play through. But remember, it's only 5 seconds long, so what you're going to have to do is duplicate it a whole bunch of times and move all the videos over until they go across the length of your final video. And most of you probably have songs that are, let's say 2 minutes and 30 seconds or longer. You're going to need that to go on for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to save you the boredom of watching me do it. I already have it pre-composed, so we're going to work with that. But that's basically what you're going to have to do. And then when you're done, you don't want to leave all these layers in your main video comp. You actually want to do what's called a pre-composition. A pre-composition is kind of like a nest. It's where you can put certain things, and if you work on the pre-comp, they'll affect each other. But in the main composition, the pre-comp won't affect too much, if that makes sense. It'll make more sense as we go along. But basically what I'm going to do is click and choose all of the layers. And to make a pre-composition, I'm just going to right-click, choose Pre-Compose. Move all attributes into the new composition. That means that anything I change is not going to affect the main composition. So we're going to click Yes, and that would create Pre-Comp 4. And if you want to see the pre-comp or if you want to work on it, you have to come back to the project panel, double-click. There it is. This is the thing we just created. It's still the film stock looking thing. But I'm going to use the one that I created earlier because it's already done and ready to go. So let's just get rid of that. I made Pre-Comp 2, and it's the same thing. It's the videos that, it's the film stock that goes all the way across. And it's got the wiggle and everything. So we're good there. We've got our background built into a pre-comp. Looks good. But we're not done. We need to add all kinds of info and all that other fun stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is add the album art. And here I have the EP cover. I'm going to bring that in, and it's huge. So I need to actually bring down the size. Change that a little bit. Let's zoom back in. I want to make sure that this is clearly visible. And this asset is actually not going to move. This is going to stand still. So as the video plays and as things are wiggling, that's going to stand still because you don't want that jarring the viewer's focus. You want their focus to be on your album art because this is the CD that they're going to go buy from their local, I don't know, where do kids buy CDs anymore? Sam Goody? Does that even exist? Anyway, so there's your album art. Problem is, my album art doesn't really stand out too well, so I do need to stylize it. I'm going to show you how I stylized this album art. The first thing I'm going to grab is drop shadow. Shadows are great to work with because they separate images really well. So I'm going to throw the drop shadow on there, and I'll run down the settings for the drop shadow. We have opacity at 59. And we have direction is 135 degrees. Softness is at 70. And if you look closely, actually, let me turn off this pre-comp layer so you can actually see what I'm doing with this shadow. Watch when I play with softness. I'm just going to drag it back and forth. You see it moving there? It actually gets bigger and smaller. That's, that creates a soft shadow, not like a real harsh shadow behind the image. If we were to go to, like, say 24 and then throw the opacity to 100 and then move the direction, or I'm sorry, move the distance, there's the shadow. So you can actually have the shadow anywhere you want. I choose to go with a softer looking shadow, just so it's not, super crazy. But anyway, I have mine set to 70. Distance is 5. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually have distance set to 0. So it almost gives it like a dark glow, if that makes sense. Speaking of glow, that's the next thing we're going to throw on here. So I'm going to keep that pre-comp layer off just so you can see what's going on behind the album art image. But I'm going to go to glow. Just type it into the effects search because it'll bring it up so much quicker than having to search through effects. I mean, if you really want to search through effects, have fun. But if you know what you're looking for, just type it into the search. It'll bring it up. Glow. You can drag and drop it right onto the image, or you can drag and drop it onto the layer. It really doesn't matter like where you want to go. Sometimes it's easier just to drop it right onto the asset. And now we have glow. Now the problem is these layers in the effects panel work the same way as the layers in the comp panel. They're in ascending order. So we actually don't want the glow affected by the drop shadow. We want the drop shadow affected by the glow. So to move it, we're actually just going to click and drag and move it up. You'll see that a line appears. And there we go. So now we have glow above drop shadow. And let's go through the settings. All right, the settings I have are 68.2% glow. Glow radius is 34. Wow, that's a big radius. We have this glow intensity set to 0.7. And now the composite original. Right now it's set to behind, and you can actually see how the glow is affecting. What we want is not to have the glow affecting the album art like this. We don't want it to make the album art glow. We actually want it to glow from behind the album art. So what it's saying is the composite original means that the album art is behind the glow. We want the glow to be behind the album art. So what I'm going to do is choose on top. And now you see how it changed. The album art is back to its original opacity and everything, and the glow is behind it. So you change that to on top. Glow operation, we really don't have to worry about anything else here. So we can actually collapse that. Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave it open just in case you need to see it. But let's turn that pre-comp back on. And now you can see this glow on the edges here. It just makes the album art pop out from the background a lot more. And it's more pleasing to the eye. Better aesthetics, if you will. So there we go. We have our album art ready to go, and it's stationary as the video plays behind it. So now what we want to do is add this super cool text that comes in, and it kind of gives us the information about like what we're listening to or the album art, or you can put the date that your EP is coming out or something like that. So I'm going to show you how to make this text. Let's go back to our final comp, and let's choose the text tool. And I'm just going to click right in here. Let's write some text. We're going to type "you're listening to." Remember, it's Y-O-U-R-E apostrophe R-E. We're not dumb here, people. We're using After Effects. We're kicking ass. Fuck! There, I dropped an F-bomb. I'm going to change the opacity. I'm going to change the font. If you're looking for super cool fonts that you want to put into your stuff, I suggest defont.com. That's what I use to find super cool fonts for everything that I do. And I'm going to choose old newspaper type. Let's move this into here. I'm going to change the size of the text because it's just a little too big right now. And this text is going to be moving, so we want it to have room to move. Just going to put it where I want it for now. And yes, the text is white. If you remember, text here is white. You can see how that shadow behind it is really making it pop out from the background. Right now, that's hard to see. We only need one of those. There we go. So we've got "you're listening to," and with the text, we're actually going to go line by line. So if I show you again, we have 4 lines here. All of this text is its own asset, its own line. So they all move independently. We don't want to make like a paragraph and then try to, have it move a certain way. Blah 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 blah. That's not going to work. We want to have 4 individual lines. So let's get rid of that. You're listening to, and let's stylize this up so that we can see what we are working with. And to stylize this, it's actually pretty simple. We're going to go back to Effects and Presets. We're going to type in Drop Shadow, or you can search for it if you're that kind of person. And you want to drop it right onto the asset. And then we have opacity is set to 75. Distance is 3. Softness is 6. And there. Now the text is sticking out a little better, and I mistyped. I'm terrible at typing, so, give me a break. I've got gorilla fingers. Listening to. That looks wrong. I don't know why. No, it's right. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we have our drop shadow. It's still not standing out well enough, but that's one of the last things I'm going to show you how to do. We're going to add like another little shadow behind the text. So let's add the rest of our text. I'm just going to go here into the middle, and I'm going to type imposter, because that's the song that my band chose we wanted to use. And what I did was actually change the color of the song name just to kind of make it stand out. And I just changed it to red, or, kind of a maroon, like a lighter maroon, red, whatever, I don't know. Depending on the country you're from, you probably call it something else. Like how people call aluminum aluminium in other parts of the world. It's so weird. Anyway, let's throw drop shadow on there. We actually don't have to grab the drop shadow and redo it. What's nice is that you can copy and paste effects. So I'm just going to go here to drop shadow. I'm going to do Control C or Command C, and then Control V. Boom. We have our shadow. Looks good. All right, you are listening to drop shadow. You are listening to imposter. Now we want to create another text layer. From the upcoming EP. And we'll move that there. We actually want that to be white. We don't want that to stand out. Click on character. Character changes your, things with your font, features with the font, whatever, traits. This is how I'm changing the color, by the way. It brings up a color palette. Just change that to white. And then go here and copy paste. So we've got that drop shadow. I'm actually going to change the size of this text just a little bit to kind of match with everything, keep it more of like a square. So this is the text size, and if you see the little hand gets like an arrow, if you click and hold, you can drag from left to right, and it changes the size of the text. That looks good. Put that right there. We want to have some decent spacing between these. They are going to move independently, and we don't want them moving on top of each other. And what's the last thing we want to say? From the upcoming EP, looks like the name of the EP is Acts of Aggression. So let's type Acts of Aggression. Acts of Aggression. We're an angry bunch, us counterweight folk. There we go. Acts of Aggression. Now I actually want to change the size of this text. Again, I'm just trying to match, make a little square basically with the text. And we'll just change the size just a little bit. cool. I'm happy with that. Let's throw that drop shadow on there. Control V, Command V, whatever. And there we go. So we have our important text that people, need to read to let them know what's coming. You could also put like the date of a show or the date of the release. You can really put any information you want. I'm just kind of letting people know the song name and what it's off of. And it looks like here, oh, it was a little different. I guess we didn't put upcoming, so we'll just put from the EP. And we'll change that text a little bit. There we go. That looks cool. Alright. Move this down just a little bit. And then, I don't know, proper English, I just used quotes, because it's a name, so there you go. Alright, so we have our text, we have everything, but the video is not done because the text is just sitting there and it's still slightly hard to read. But the first thing we want to do is pre-compose because we have too many things going on in our main comp. We have too many layers. So what I'm going to do is pre-compose the album art and all of the text. So I'm going to shift-click, right-click, and then pre-compose. Move all attributes to the new composition, pre-comp 5. Bam. Now we have pre-comp 5. If I double-click on it, we can actually open it up. And you can turn the transparency on and off if you want to see what you're doing. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to set a wiggle to all of these different lines of text. So let me really quick just kind of set these the way I want them. Just want to move them. Again, I want to make sure that they're not intersecting with each other. And I think imposter, why don't we make this just a little bigger? Just so people kind of notice, whoa, that's the song name. Neat. I'm going to go learn all the lyrics to it. Like I did. Anyway. So, let's go back to Wigglerama. Effects and presets. We're going to type Wigglerama. Actually, no. That's wrong. We're just going to type wiggle. And what we want is wiggle position. We're going to drop that onto the first layer there. Make sure it is underneath the drop shadow because we do want it to affect where we don't want it to affect the drop shadow. What am I saying? I don't know. Anyway, make sure it's underneath the drop shadow. You're doing great. I'm having trouble here. Okay, let's see. Our settings, we have wiggle speed is 1. Wiggle amount is way too much. We want that to be 4. Get that guy back in place. And then the transform options are all the way they should be. So if we take a look, now you see that text has a nice fluid, small movement to it. It catches your eye, and it makes you kind of want to read it, I guess. And we're just going to do that for all the layers of text underneath it. Real simple. We're just going to do the copy and paste method because it just makes it that much easier. Let's make sure we have both of these clicked, wiggle position and transform, because those do feed off of each other. I'm going to Control C or Command C. Let's go to imposter, paste that in, paste it in, paste it in. All right, so we have it on all of our layers. Now if we watch it back, look at that. They all move independently. That's pretty cool. I can turn off the transparency. Pretty awesome. Nice. Let's go back to our final comp, see what it looks like. All right, cool. We got some cool movement going on. None of the layers are intersecting. None of the layers of text are intersecting. Looks pretty awesome. But the text is still kind of hard to read because, there's a lot of white in the background and just kind of the contrast doesn't work too well. So I'm going to go back to pre-comp 5. That's where our text and our album art lives. And I'm going to create kind of a faux shadow. And the way to do that is Layer, New, Solid. And we want it to be dark gray is fine. You can change the color too, depending on what color you want. You want it black, white, red, blue, green, whatever. I'm going to make this gray. and it's the size of the video. So it's 854 by 480. You'll see what it looks like. It takes up the entire thing, but we can actually resize it. Yay! So it's not in the way. And we want to make sure that it's behind these text layers. So remember, layers work in ascending order. So if I take this layer, move it underneath all of the text layers, now the text layers are on top of it. And let's see how far their movement goes, because we want them to stay within that box. Alright, cool. That should be good right there. Now, what we want to do is create a mask. So we want to feather out this image behind, and we could just change the opacity. Let me bring that up real quick, show you. We could just change the opacity, bring it down, and we have kind of a square box going on, but it looks kind of boring. You know, we want to make it a little more shadow-esque. So what I'm going to do is create a mask on top of that. And let's just turn the text layers off for a second. And bring that opacity back up. Where is it? Show me the opacity. There it is. Alright, set that to 100. And I'm going to click on the mask tool, the rectangle tool. And we're just going to create a mask the size of our box. There we go. And now we're going to play with the mask. If you're not used to masks, they're pretty powerful things, but this will be pretty easy. All we're trying to do is just turn this box into a shadow. And I just feel like changing the color of the layer for some reason to yellow. So the mask options that we're going to go with, we're going to feather the mask. And what this is going to do is create a soft edge. So I'm just going to type 75. And see, we get like this nice soft edge. It's still kind of dark behind there. Let's actually turn those text layers back on. Collapse all that stuff. Just so we can see what's going on there. And it's still a little wonky. So what I'm going to do is take down the opacity of that box just a bit. And then collapse all that. That looks a lot better. Let's bring up the mask again. Just play with the feathering just a little bit. You can see the feathering, if you see it behind there, you know, it's creating that real nice kind of soft edge, feathered edge, if you will. And then let's go to our final comp, see how it looks. We're still getting those hard edges. So what I'm going to do is actually the mask. I'm going to change the shape of the mask and bring it in just a little bit. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to change the way this mask looks. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit so it's got that nice feathered edge. You know, it's tedious, but you want to get it to where you want it to be. But now, if you look at the text, it's got like just a little bit of a darkness behind it, and it really makes it stand out. So, if we press play, there we go. You can read the text. It's looking good. We've got our album art. We've got our moving background. We've come a long way in 30 minutes. But the last thing we want to do is put our music in. So I'm going to go back to my project panel, and I have my music ready. And what number is, I think it's number 5, is Imposter. I'm going to put it on there. Now here's the problem. Imposter is not 30 seconds long. It's actually like 2-minute song. So we need to extend the life of our project here. To do that, all you have to do is right-click, go to Composition Settings, and let's say the song is 2 minutes 30 seconds long. We will set it to 2 minutes 30 seconds. Click OK. And if you zoom out here, you'll see that it goes all the way across. Now the problem is we do have to change the pre-comps so that they match the length of the song. Actually, it looks like the song is only 2 minutes long. Let's go here, right click, trim comp to work area. There we go. Okay, 2 minutes long. Looks good. So we need the pre-comps to be 2 minutes long. So let's go to the first pre-comp. This is the tedious stuff, guys. It's boring. You know, you don't have to watch me do this, but it's good to learn. We're going to go to comp settings. Our main comp is 2 minutes long, so we want to make sure our pre-comps are the same length. Click OK. Zoom out. All of these layers need to be extended all the way to 2 minutes, so what we can do is click and drag and select all of them. Come on now. There it is. And then if you click and drag, all of them will move together. We'll click Shift so that they snap to the end there. And then if we go to the final comp, you can see that we can move this all the way to 2 minutes. That's good enough for funk, right? And then the pre-comp 2, for whatever reason that is ending early. Pre-comp 2, I don't know why I have it ending so early. Obviously for some kind of reason. But we could just do the loop trick where we just do duplicate, move it over, Control D, move it over to the end there, and there we go. And then the back, that's just the background, it'll loop. But basically we have our song, we have our video, it's ready to go. The next thing you're going to want to do is just render it out and put it on YouTube. Want me to show you how to render? Cool, I'll show you how to render. This is kind of like the shittiest part of all this because it's just kind of hard to know how to do. I don't know. I've been doing this for the better half of a decade, so it's easy for me. But I'll show you a quick, easy render that I would do. So you're going to want to make sure you're on your final composition. Make sure it's the final video, not your pre-comps. Okay. And what we're going to do is go up to composition. Going to add to a render queue. And that brings up our render queue. And going to go all the way to the bottom. You can see that I rendered this out a whole bunch of times. Here's the settings that I normally use. It wants to create an AVI because it's on a PC, but that AVI would be fucking huge. So we don't want to create an enormous file. What we're going to do is click on output mode, and I'll show you the window that pops up. Format, the best we want is QuickTime because it's actually going to create a small a small file, not an enormous file. Going to click on Format Options. Another window popped up on my other screen. Here it is. YouTube, the best for YouTube is H.264. You won't have any quality degradation. Just make sure the quality is set to 100. Click OK. And then we want to ensure RGB, millions of colors, pre-multiplied. That should already be set that way. If it's not, set it that way. Audio output, just make sure it's set to auto. Don't set it to off or else your song's not going to be there and you're just going to have a 2-minute video of stuff flickering around. Click OK. Click on Output To and just choose where you want to save it. Let's say that I wanted to save it in my band folder where I save all of my counterweight stuff. I'd click Save and then Render. So that's what I got to show you guys. I hope that was pretty easy to follow. I know the video, 35 minutes long, kind of sucks, but I'm trying to show you how I create the promo videos that Counterweight uses, and I really hope that you guys can use this to make really cool looking videos for your band and put them all over YouTube. All right? Best of luck. And if you get a chance, hop over to Counterweight HC at bandcamp.com. Pick up our new EP. We'd love to know what you guys think of it. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.